Here's a little bit of help as you navigate through today's lesson, the homework for lesson 3.2.4 or rock and roller rinks. We got through most of the lesson. We'll have to talk about it when I'm back on the next day. But here we go, problem one. This one's a required problem. Rent-a-wreck cars rents cars for $50 a day plus 25 cents per mile. Drive a Lemon rents cars for $40 a day and plus 30 cents per mile. This comes directly from your packet, so these are the same problems. I've just rewritten some wording a little bit to make sure that it's usable with Google Form. Your job is to go ahead and write a linear equation that represents the cost of renting a car from Rent-A-Wreck. So let's take a look at Rent-A-Wreck. Rent-A-Wreck starts out at $50 per day. Let's get something that I can write with. $50 per day. So that sounds like a starting value plus 25 cents per mile. That's going to be right there per mile. Notice that X represents the number of miles, so we can change that value right there per mile to X. And now all of a sudden we have an expression that says 50 plus 25 cents times X. Don't include the dollar sign in your equation. It is not necessary, nor will it be accepted as correct. So that's the equation you're going to start right here. Don't forget to start with y equals. The next problem, again, it's going to be 1A. This might seem a little bit weird, but 1A, just so it corresponds with the work in there since I split it up, talks about writing an equation that represents the cost of renting a car from Drive a Lemon. So when we look at Drive a Lemon, let's go ahead and do Drive a Lemon. Uh-oh. Okay, well, I don't know what's going on with this, but Drive a Lemon talks about $40 a day plus 30 cents per mile. So again, it's a very similar situation to what you're writing with the other one. Start with how much money you're paying per day, and then add the 30 cents per mile. Remember what per mile represents in the situation that we're talking about, the letter X. All right. After that, you're supposed to solve your system using the chosen method, whatever you have. If you want to graph it, if you want to use substitution, if you just want to take a guess, I don't recommend doing that. Please don't do that. Guessing is off the table. Don't do that. Bad idea. When you get done with it, you need to give the correct solution as an ordered pair. That means you need to put parentheses. Give me your X coordinate right here, and then follow that one up. So you're going to have two different numbers. Right here and right here. You're going to give me your X coordinate followed by the Y coordinate. And after you are done, you're going to write me a sentence that says what this situation represents. So you're going to say blah, blah, blah miles, blah, blah, blah cost. Something about that. But it should indicate what the mileage is and what the cost is for when the two companies are the exact same, or when the cost of renting a car from either company is the exact same. Okay, having a few problems with the board, so give me just a second. See if I can get this to work. Sorry, this is making your video just a little bit longer. Got it. 1D is what situation would you recommend renting a car from Rent-A-Wreck? Basically, think about the situation that you gave in here and make a decision as to what it is, as to why you would choose that company and how you would go through it. So, since I'm here, I'm just going to put, in order to move on to the next section, I'm just going to throw some numbers or some letters in there. Okay. Next section. In this one, we're talking about rock and roller rinks again. This is problems 2 and 3 from your homework packet, or from the homework assignment in the entire packet. So now you have an option here. Problem 2 and problem 3 are extra credit. So you can take some time to go through this one, problem 2 and problem 3 if you'd like, but you are not required to. So you could just go ahead and go down and skip this entire section. I will, however, give you a head start and help you out with the 2 equations. And that's about it. The rest of it's up to you. So with 2A, we're talking about a girl named Rika. She is working at a perfume department at the Hoover department store. She's giving away samples of a new fragrance and a new scented hand lotion. So we have something for hand lotion and we have something for fragrance. As we write this out, we have to consider that she's talking about a whole bunch of things here. We're talking about she has to hand out 144 samples during her shift. She's already handed out 36 of them. And that 36 represents 1/3 of the number of fragrance samples and 1/4 of the number of hand lotion samples. So when we write an equation that talks about the total number of samples, we are talking about writing an equation that says the total number of fragrance plus the total number of hand lotion is equal to 114 samples. On part 2, we're talking about this next value right here, the number of samples she's already handed out, 36 samples, which is 1/3 of the number of fragrance samples, X, and 1/4 of the number of the lotion samples, Y. So when we're talking about these ones, she's handed out 1/3 of the fragrance and 1/4 of the hand lotion for a total of 36 samples. Okay, there's your two equations for part 2. The rest of it's up to you. Part 3 is a little bit separate one. You've got Belinda that's working in the same department store, but she's handing out coupons for silverware package. Remember, silverware is like forks, knives, spoons, things like that. The first coupon is the classic set. So here's one kind of coupon. The second coupon is for the modern set. On one day, she handed out 144 coupons. And those coupons represent half of the number of classic coupons and 3/4 of the number of modern coupons. So she handed out twice as many coupons for the modern set as she did for the classic set. That means that we need to write an equation for these, talking about the total number of coupons that she handed out was 144. And what we know about them is that was half of those were the number of coupons for the classic set. And then 3/4 of them were for the modern set. And then after that, she handed out, what we know from this is she handed out twice as many coupons for the modern set as she did for the classic set. So the modern set, we're going to be looking at this as Y for the modern set is equal to twice as many as the classic. Okay. Good luck on that one if you choose to do it. Problem number 4 is a required one. I feel like this one's a little bit simpler. You got Mrs. Jupino is the leader of her daughter's Girl Scout troop, which has 15 members, and they really want to take an end of your field trip to an amusement park, but they've got to raise the money for the trip. So they've researched different fundraising companies, and they've narrowed their search down to 2 different companies. Both companies have fundraising opportunities that involve selling coupon books. And so the first company, Great Ideas, will donate $50 if the troop uses their company, plus the girls will make $10 for every booklet that they sell. And the second company, Paper and Things, is willing to give a bigger donation of $275 if they use their company, plus the girls make $7 for every booklet that they sell. So when we look at these ones, we look at Great Ideas, and we have to think about where do they start. Well, think about Great Ideas. They started here at giving them $50, plus they're going to give them $10 for every booklet that they sell. So it might be a good idea to start with the $50 plus increasing at a rate of $10 per book. Okay, makes sense. There's one more thing missing that you need to come up with here. After that, we're looking at the Paper and Things. Paper and Things, remember, they were a little more generous. They said they were going to start out by donating $275 to the troop, plus $7 for every booklet that's been sold. So instead of starting with $50, we can start with $275 plus the cost of every single booklet, or plus the bonus for every single booklet, I guess you could call it. Remember, there's one more piece to this. Don't forget it. And then after we're done, we're going to solve using this chosen system. If you choose to graph it, if you choose to use elimination, substitution, either way is great. But make sure that you answer like this with an x coordinate and a y coordinate. It's not literally x and y, but with an x coordinate and a y coordinate. And then number 4C, describe the meaning of the solution. Well, at some point, these two fundraising companies, the value that these girls get, they're going to have to sell a certain number of booklets before each company has the same amount. So in this case, you're going to have to tell me at what number of coupon books is the cost equal. That's really what we're looking for. How many books? That's kind of terrible writing. Sorry. How many books is the cost equal? So go through it and then make a recommendation which company the girls should have or should use. Okay, let me fill in a couple blanks so that we can move on to the next one. I should be using Q because Q is a beautiful letter. Problem number 5 is a required one. This is where you're supposed to select the correct solution for each system of equations. So you're going to have to solve each one of these and then choose the right solution. So you're going to have to just pick one of these values and make sure it's the right one, not just picking random like I am. Make sure you go through and make sure you know the right one is. If it's no solution, infinite solutions, or one solution. And then the final part of your work for today is to solve each of these equations. So here's the thing. You need to determine if the equation has one solution, no solution, or infinite solutions. Just like we've talked about in class, how many solutions does the equation have? Now, you don't have to tell me that in your answer, but that's the thing that's going to decide if you're actually going to solve it. So all responses with one solution must describe the value of x. So if you get something if the equation has one solution, you have to solve it. And then the response that you give has to say x equals. So when you write in your answer right here, you have to start and say x equals. If there's not one solution, then you write infinitely many solutions or you write no solutions. And once you're done with this, you can go ahead and hit submit because you are all done. My recommendation to you, anytime you complete a form that has this option of send me a copy of my responses, use that, and then that way you get a copy right there sent to you. As soon as you're done with this, you've done an awesome job, and you can work on the next task for the class. Have a great day.